Welcome back to Flashpoint. This week we sat down with Senator Tom Tillis. Just a few days ago, he was part of some key hearings over the debacle with Ticketmaster a few months ago, some arguing the ticket website has too much power. But Senator Tillis says he just wants Americans to have equal opportunity to some of the nation's biggest events. Let's talk Ticketmaster. It was the topic yesterday, I know, on the Hill. Those executives on the hot seat. You're calling for more transparency when it comes to what they do.
Yeah, I think one of the things that can fix this problem without big government coming in and controlling markets, which I have a real problem with, is just simply be transparent on the front end. We had an artist yesterday, Clyde Lawrence, say that he doesn't really know what the ticket price ultimately costs. He only knows what he told a Ticketmaster or Live Nation what his band would like to charge. I think on the front end, it's fair to say a performer should know, okay, your baseline ticket cost is, in his case, it was $30. But what do you project based on your business assumptions, the ultimate cost of the consumer is going to be? And then that artist can decide whether or not that's appropriate. And I think that kind of transparency that can be done without a single line of statute being passed by Congress would go a long way towards resolving the problems. The industry has to do a better job of countering these bots that are going out and purchasing large blocks of tickets and scalping them. I don't have a problem with somebody buying a ticket, they decide they don't want to go, or the ticket prices have gone up, so they're able to maybe make money. I mean, some people call it scalping. I call it offering a product that people are willing to pay for. But we have to get rid of an unhealthy number of tickets that are being purchased by organizations and then been resold. I think the Ticketmaster wants to fix that too because their reputation's on the line, but they have to step up their technology efforts to get it done.
Let's talk about respect for marriage. You mentioned it earlier. As you know, back in, I think, 10 years ago or something, when you were Speaker of the House, you supported Amendment 1, banning gay marriage. Now, Senator, this is not a gotcha question in any way or even suggesting that you flip-flopped, but polls show most Americans feel differently about gay marriage than they did 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Are you one of those people?
Well, I think first, for my friends and people who have supported me in the past, I would encourage them to read the 6-page bill. I would particularly encourage them to read the section that my office played the most prominent role in, and that was the religious freedom protections that the religious community was exposed to after the Supreme Court decision allowing same-sex marriage in this country. Our bill simply says if a state, so let's assume that Supreme Court decision is reversed. In North Carolina, it would mean that we would have a ban on same-sex marriage. In other states, we would not. And the whole intent of the bill was to say, we're going to let the states decide. And right now, as a matter of Supreme Court decision, it is allowed in every state. But if it were to be overturned, then North Carolina goes back to the policy that was passed 10 years ago. And then they will have to decide whether or not that's consistent with the priorities of the people of North Carolina. We had religious institutions who do not recognize same-sex marriage, do not sanction it in their Christian faith, who endorsed this bill because they understood the step forward that we took on religious protections. And I think if you read the 6-page bill and you talk to some of the Christian organizations who supported the bill, then you're going to find that we worked to make sure that we advanced religious liberties, and we did not sanction same-sex marriage at the federal level. We've left that as an issue for the states.
Two final questions, both fairly quick. First, when it comes to 2024, anybody that you are ready to support when it comes to the president?
Well, we have to see how the field's shaping up. We know that President Trump is running again. We know that DeSantis may run again. There are other candidates who are making their way, or potential candidates making their way through Washington. So that's a decision that I'll take a look at and maybe form an opinion on one candidate or another sometime in the spring.
Finally, and most importantly, how is your health? 2 years ago, you're diagnosed and treated for prostate cancer. We spoke to you at the time. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I've gone back for my PSA test. I've got a 0 or indetectable rating just about 6 months after my surgery. One thing I would encourage everyone, if you have a family member who has had prostate cancer, young men as early as their late 30s, early 40s, need to get the screening, get the PSA test every year. If you're diagnosed with cancer, get early consultation. Sometimes the doctor will tell you to wait and monitor it. Other times, in my case, the doctor said that you need to pick an option. In my case, it was prostate surgery. Fully recovered. I was on a mountain bike 6 weeks after my surgery, and I'm back to full activity for the last 2 years, and God's blessed me.
And some would say that's the most important part of the entire interview we just did, that information right there. Senator, thank you. Glad you're doing well. Let's talk again soon.
Thank you.
All right, more Flashpoint after this.